Hey Floss Tube, it's Jules. Thanks for joining me for another Stitch Along. We're going to work on Apothecary shop today, and I'm going to use my my little picture here to kind of show you where we're at with this. Basically, we're right down at the bottom of like this shutter or something that's right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of skip the top part of this today, and we're going to work on the darker color down here, I think, and maybe a little bit there. But I know it's hard for you guys to see sometimes the light colored floss when I use it in this particular thing. So we're just gonna work on some dark colors. What day is today? It's Sunday, January 25th. Maybe? Not 100% sure, to be perfectly honest with you. Neighbor dogs want to bark this morning. That's Arthur next door. Arthur I like. Arthur is cool. Whatever the dog's name is on the other side, not cool. But, oh well. 'Tis what it is. So now I'm going to jump down over this white section. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're just going to come down here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one right there. Cool beans. We're going to making some good progress on this one this week, I think. At least noticeable progress. What have I worked on? I worked some more on Old World Map 2. And haven't quite finished the page yet, but I'm getting close. It's slow going when you're down at the very end of it. So I am sorry, I'm just distracted with the dogs barking up here or down out there. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Ow! I just poked myself. No worries, guys. All right, what am I talking about today? Let's see. Let us discuss. Let's see. What shall we discuss today, guys? I'm going to discuss some amazing lunch that I had yesterday. So I hope you guys don't mind that if you're watching this. Anyway, if you've heard before, there was a point before where my husband and I experimented with hot pot, which is not marijuana. It is actually just a form. It's a sort of a traditional Chinese dish, and it is a they bring out basically like a burner, and they put like a big metal or steel pot, and they pour some broth that they make on it, and then they you get to select what you want. So you get to select like how spicy you want the broth. You get to select like the meats that you want, and they have like seafood and all different kinds of beef, and then you can select like vegetables and pasta. I don't want to say pasta. It's like they're noodles basically, and so all those things basically. And so we went over yesterday. We've been anticipating this. We went to our first hot pot experience to this place that was basically sort of, you could call it like a starter hot pot, which is where it's very Americanized, and they sort of walk you through how to do hot pot, and you get your own little individual bowl. And this time around, we did a real, like, awesome, authentic Chinese hot pot. This tiny little Chinese family restaurant, and it was awesome. We ate so much. I swear, like we're like still full today, basically, and we didn't eat. We ate it took us 90 minutes to eat. That's when you're cooking, like when you're cooking hot pot and you're cooking your own meal. you kind of cook your own as you go, and you can decide kind of what you want and whatnot. You know, it's kind of like melting pot. What do they call that? Fondue. So in a way, it's sort of like fondue, but there's just, you really control a lot more of what you're doing, and there's a lot more variety of what you get. And so I super enjoyed, like, they had like crab bites, and they had shrimp in the shell, they had sliced up fish, beef, I think I had some lamb too, but I was like, you know, I think I overcooked it. Because pretty much it's so hot that when you put in the meat, and the meat is so thinly sliced that it literally takes maybe about 8 seconds to cook, depending upon how hot the hot pot is. And but I mean, I ate and I ate and I ate, and I didn't want to leave anything on the plates they gave us because we got so much food. We eventually had to stop because it was just so much. And it was pretty awesome. But at one point, I swear, I must have gotten one of their spicy, because we ordered like the extra spicy hot broth. And there were all these peppers and everything that were in there. And you try not to eat the actual peppers because that's just asking for trouble. But at one point, I took a bite, and I don't even know what it was. I didn't feel myself chew into anything or whatnot, but all of a sudden, like, the left side of my tongue felt like nothing I'd ever felt before. It wasn't numb. It was like a combination of losing sensation, but also the same kind of taste you get, like sometimes when you're a kid and you touch your tongue to a battery. It wasn't quite like that, but that's sort of what, you know, all I could think of was I must have had a piece of a pepper on that side of my mouth or something. And it took a good like 15 minutes for that sensation to go away. And it was kind of funny. But oh man, it was just so good. So good, guys. If you like spicy food, if you like Chinese style food, oh man, it was real good Szechuan. I think it was from the province of Szechuan, hot pot. So that was yesterday, and like I said, I think still kind of full today from all that. But it's all good. It's all good. Whoops. I lost the... Whoa! Are you guys okay? You guys didn't fall off your chairs or anything, did you? In case you weren't watching, I just dumped the camera. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's get Lizzie Kate out of the way here. Oh boy. But you know, for Thursday, after I did that video, I didn't really cross-stitch the rest of the day. I cleaned... and I worked on some other things, and now honestly I just can't even remember what it was that I worked on, but I had other things that I had to get done, so that was what I did. And here. So I can talk about, I know what I did. I worked on my fish tanks. And then Thursday night, met my husband after work, and we went over to a fish store that I really, really like, that I feel like has a far better selection of saltwater fish and whatnot. And I just really was looking at trying to get something for my tank. It's so boring looking at the one piece of coral, which, by the way, is still not doing anything. It's just sitting there. It's not opening up or anything. And so I was like, I just want, distract me with some fish. So I was like, I'm just going to get some clownfish. And clownfish can kind of grow sort of big, and I only have a 20-gallon tank. So I didn't want to get anything that was already big. I just want to get some babies, and then we'll see. So I went there basically just with the idea of getting a couple tiny little fish. But we got there at the end of the night when they were closing like in like half an hour or something. So there was nobody else in the store. And one of the guys that works there that has helped me before, and he's really, really smart. He's really good at everything. And we ended up having a conversation about my tank. And he taught me so much in like 20 minutes, like more than I had learned in the last like 4 months. And the gist of it was leave it alone. Like I've been doing all kinds of things to try to get it going, changing parameters and, just changing the water and just all these different things. And he pretty much told me that most likely what happened with my first coral that sort of died, and it kind of had all that that slime that had come out and that had covered it and had covered like half the tank. He was just like, yeah, you overfed your coral and basically it was puking. And I was like, oh, I didn't even consider that it was a reaction from the coral itself to having too much going on. So he's like, yeah, man, just let it be. And so I learned a lot, basically. And the plan is I got a couple of tiny little baby coral fish. And coral fish, I always say coral fish, clownfish, like Nemo, basically. Got a couple little small ones, brought them home. And they seem that because they're together, that they're doing really well, that they just stick with each other, and they're just kind of floating along and whatnot. And he showed me exactly how to feed them, so I did the right thing, and I've been feeding them, and it's been awesome. And they've been doing really, really good. And the coral, basically, it just needs time to adjust to the tank. And it may take a while. So just don't worry. Don't try to do anything. Just, pretty much he told me kind of what to do with this, what to do with that. He changed one of my products up that I was using. Otherwise, I was doing pretty good. So I'm going to take a water sample into him maybe next weekend and have him check my parameters himself and see what he thinks as far as how everything's going. But I felt like tremendously better after talking to him. And so going forward, I have a lot more hope that I can build upon this beginning that we have now. So that was good. And it's been like 2 days, and the fish are still alive, and they're eating and doing great. And so yeah, so I think it's all right. Oops, that right there. So are you guys as excited for the Olympics as I am? Well, I'm not like ridiculously excited, but I do love the certain winter events because I just like snow and everything. So we were just talking the other day about like the biathlon. I love the biathlon. I love cross country skiing. It's just very soothing, I think, to watch people do that. I usually like the hockey, except for the hockey this time. It's just going to be so weird because there's no NHL players there. But I'm not a big figure skating fan, to be honest with you. And I love watching it, or not watching it. I'm amazed at the athletic abilities of those guys and whatnot. It's the judging that I don't jive with. I feel like it's so hard to... Let me fix this. It's so hard to sort of, I don't know. Like you can watch somebody and be like, oh my gosh, I really like that group. They're awesome. Or that person. And then they get like this lower score than the person who just went, who to me was incredibly boring. And so I don't understand it. So I just try to step away from it. So I'm not, I'm not too crazy about it. Well, there you go again. Sorry, guys. Good gracious. I'm going to have to figure out my setup at some point so that doesn't happen. It's like Sunday at like 8:30 and these dogs are just nonstop barking. It's kind of annoying. I don't think it'd be annoying if I was downstairs with the TV on, but up here trying to talk quietly and do this is, oh well, no big deal. Hope you guys are stitching. I'm going to highlight here, so I hope you guys are I picked something good to stitch with. You can stitch with me. I'm changing colors just because I'm switching things up. I'm being unpredictable. Oops, I didn't do that. Oh, I'm giving myself credit for something I didn't do. That's just not right. All right. So now we shall work on the letter G. We're going to work on G. And I'm going to do something a little bit weird. So I'm going to start all the way over on the left side here and work my way across here with this color. This is not how I normally work, but to do a stitch along, I don't like to switch colors up all the time because it just interrupts the flow, I think. So but we gotta count. We gotta count, and counting this early in the morning for me sometimes is really hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that perfection. Whoops, got another color in there. Get out of there. You don't need to belong in there. Or you don't belong in there. Don't mean to be mean. Just got to be real. All right, now we can rock and roll. Oh man, sitting on a chair. I got my pajamas on. I got my St. Louis Blues robe, and I have on. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, I gotta count up here. Oh wait, this will be easier. Here we go. Okay, is this it right here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, good. Whew. All right. But I decided when I got up this morning I was stiff and sore and everything. I'm like, I gotta do something to get going. So I actually hopped on our little stationary bike that we have and cycled for about 5 minutes, get the blood flowing, feel a little better, and I do. I feel better. Let's see. What else did I work on? So I did I did some Rainy Waterloo Place. I got some stuff done there. I was pretty happy about that. And it's so funny because I don't ever want to like put that one down because when I'm making progress, I'm like, yeah, let's keep going. But I'm like, I don't want to show just one piece every week, so I gotta get going with other things. I'm gonna do some Ronnie Rowe a little later. And I like to do some Stormtrooper stuff. We weren't really home at all yesterday, so because I worked and then we left. As soon as I got off work, we went over to the hot pot place, and that took like I said, that was like a 2-hour adventure. And I got off work late, so it was like 2 o'clock, and then we got over to the hot pot place about 2:30, whatever. We didn't leave that place until maybe we were there for 2 hours because it was it was like 4:15 when we left because I wanted to be home by 5. I thought that the NHL skills competition was on at 5. It was actually on at 5:30. So I ended up doing some other things, getting ready for that. And then after I was kind of watching it. I started watching it, the skills, and I'm like, honestly, I'm kind of bored because I have a really short attention span issue. And that's part of the reason why I feel like I do so many different cross stitches now is because I need constant stimulation, which is frustrating for me at times, because I wish I would just kind of sit there and do the same thing. I mean, I can, but yeah, especially when it just comes to TV or something, I just can't watch things anymore. It's just, I don't know. Short attention span, the squirrel thing. But ended up watching a webcast of some of my best friends. They live in California. Their dad's dad's in the Army, basically, and Army. Oh, my apologies, the Air Force. And so they're out there, and a kid was playing in a local, or his high school team was playing in a game last night, and a hockey game, and he's a youngin'. He's a freshman playing on the varsity, and he actually got the start last night because the starter was sick, and he played quite well. I'm very, very proud of the kid. I love him to death. He's like, you know, when you have those friends where when they start having kids, like you're over there all the time, and so you're pretty close to the kids and everything, and that's kind of how it is with me and that kiddo. He's been my special little bud for his whole life, and now he's taller than me, so he's not really my little bud anymore, but super proud of him. Super proud of him. He's a good kid. Keeping an eye on the time, just because I don't want to see. I mean, I will stitch no matter what, but I have caught myself at times like just talking to nobody because the video shut off, and I ended up just talking to myself for a while, and then I forgot what I was talking about. But I'm not terribly awake this morning, as you could probably tell. I think I'm still in somewhat of a food coma. Next time we go to the hot pot place, I'm only getting like the meat selections. I tried the veggies. So we had like some broccoli, some bok choy. We had some leeks, which I actually was surprised that I kind of like them. So we had all that stuff. And then I had the noodles, which they were like glass noodles. They were clear, which I'm just dumbfounded that is even like a thing. I mean, I knew it was a thing. I've seen them before, but I'd never eaten them before. I mostly prefer like hand-pulled noodles that are more corn-based. And so, but oh well, it was good, but probably just eat the seafood next time, because I didn't finish the seafood, but I'm like, if I didn't want to leave feeling sick, I didn't want that to be my last impression when it was so good. Ah. There we go. I think I am starting to get hungry now. Talking about the food and actually making me hungry. That's too funny. So this is like a grape color, if you guys can tell, which I'm actually like, this is easily the most vivid color that I've used on this piece. So it doesn't show up on that picture that I showed you because, like I said, it's like that Turner color chrome or whatever it was that when they colorized movies and it didn't look right. It's kind of what this one did. I just pulled the needle out. No! What am I singing? For I've come to Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. There we go. Ah, come here, you. I'll wait till the second part of this video to tell you my experience with stitching Rainy Watery Place the other night. My speed stitching story. I'm gonna finish this color up real quick, pause the video for myself so that I can split this video up in a couple pieces like we need to, and do that and load my needles up with a couple more colors or something. We'll see what we do. I'll come back with the story of my frantic stitching, which was awesome because I got so much done. All right, dudes, I'll be right back. Well, to you guys, I'll be right back, but to me, it'll be a few minutes. All right, we are back. Okay, so I'm actually going to do this color down here and work my way across. And it looks like black, but it's 939. It's that like very dark midnight blue kind of thing, which is honestly one of my favorite colors because usually whenever I need to use it in a pattern, it just pops right out. Anyway, so speed stitching. So there, another one of my eclectic tastes is I like to sometimes watch people play video games. And I get on Twitch and I watch people kind of do their thing, and it's honestly, it's really not that much different than watching somebody play sports, and you're just following them along in their adventures to try to do something in the area of a certain video game. And usually it'll be something that I've played or want to play or just like to watch somebody play. And so there's this Swedish guy that I sort of picked up a couple years ago, or picked up meaning that I started watching some of his his recorded videos here and there. And so what happened was, I don't know, I just got in the mood to kind of just listen to one of his videos while he was doing it. It was like an hour and a half long, and he was doing this, what we call a speed run, which is where you take a game and you try to like play it as quickly as possible to get from the beginning to the end as quickly as possible. And it's actually a thing where there's like records and all these things. And so it was an old video from a couple years ago, and I probably had watched it a couple years ago. I just didn't remember it. And so it takes him like an hour and a half to go through everything. And so he's like rushing to get all that stuff done, and without realizing it, I had started doing the same thing with the stitching, and I was just stitching so fast, changing floss, and just, I mean, it was really funny. I got a lot done on Rainy Watery Place, but it was like I was about halfway through the video, and I was like, told my husband, I'm like, I'm speed stitching right now. I don't even mean to be doing it, and it was kind of funny. So I might do that again today. I might watch another one of his videos and try to speed stitch. It's stimulating, or it's motivating to stitch a little faster, but that's what I was doing. So that was pretty funny for me. So that Kentucky school shooting was kind of scary. Well, I mean, it was horribly tragic and horrifying, but it literally was it was the next county over from where I have family. And when they said school shooting at a high school in small town Western Kentucky, I literally, when I heard that, like your heart jumps in your throat, because I got one of my cousin's kids is in high school, and like I said, literally the next county over, and that's where I actually spent the eclipse. It was right around that area, and so it was terrible. But here's the crazy thing about it is I got a t-shirt from my time there. It's like, total eclipse, spent my total eclipse in Western Kentucky. And I usually wear it as like it's a little big on me, so I wear it as a like night shirt, or when I'm just hanging out around the house or something like that. So I never wear it like under my scrubs to go to work or whatnot. And that day I did before I left. I was like, oh, I'll just wear this shirt today for some reason. And I didn't even realize it until I got home and I was taking off my, switching into my comfy clothes. And I was like, whoa, that is weird. But it's just terrifying, horrifying. I'm not going to talk anymore about it because I could go on for a while just ruminating on the whole subject, but I'm not going to do that because that's not what these videos are for. These videos are for celebrating cross-stitch, and thank goodness I have cross-stitch, because it is and has been a soothing influence in my life, and I love it to the nth degree. Nth degree. If everybody cross-stitched, the world would be a better place. Boop boop-a-doo, boop boop-a-doo. Boop boop-a-doo. What else am I gonna do today? I don't know. I gotta do some water changes on my freshwater tanks. Dogs will hopefully want to take a nap all day. Except for crazy Zuzu, the golden. She got to go to work yesterday. We ran her and did a bunch of exercise with her. And of course, you take her home and it's like nothing happened. She's still just as crazy. It's impossible to tire that dog out. It really is. It's Oh Susanna. I got Oh Susanna stuck in my head. That is the weirdest thing. I know I haven't heard it lately. I know that hasn't been a thing. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe there'll be some college wrestling on today. I watched the Iowa and Michigan last night. That was fun. I watched that. I actually watched that instead of watching the NHL skills competition, because I find that one-on-one, person versus person, I think that's pretty awesome as far as an athletic competition. It's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I am gonna stitch all day long. I hope. Because I want to kind of fill in this area. That's going to be one of the things. I just want to kind of fill this in down to here so that it really starts to show. So normally I don't. You guys know if you've seen my pieces. Normally I don't go down like, say, the left side, the left border, or the left side of the cross stitch. But on this one I had to, because the top row is literally just all, whatchamacallit, it's all like the roof of this building. And so it all is going to be like the same. And I mean, shoot, even I don't want to look at that all the time. I have a feeling that when I get like a few more pages of this one done, you guys, more and more people are going to start to say, this is my favorite project. And that would be cool. I still need to put in some more time on Old World Map 2 today, get a few more things done. There's my progression towards getting this page done gets ever closer. I'm gonna sneeze. I am so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, guys. It's probably a little bit of dust or something. Ooh, I'm breathing better now. Yay. Let's see here. So I'm not terribly excited about the Super Bowl. Next week will be, when I do this next stitch along, it'll be Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm just not terribly excited about it. Not a Patriots fan. I kind of get tired when like the same teams win all the time. It's great for those teams, great for those fans. I feel like it's also really easy to take it for granted as a fan of those teams too. But so I'll be rooting for Philly and hoping that they can pull it through. And if they can, that would be, what a story. I mean, losing your starting quarterback a couple weeks before the end of the regular season, and backup comes in and plays fairly well. You guys ever see a movie called Heaven Can Wait? It's one of my all-time favorite movies, and it was like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. And it was Warren Beatty and I want to say Julie Christie. Not 100% sure on that one. Whoops. Come here, Floss. Come here, Thread. Come back to me. I re-thread this thing. And it's basically about this quarterback, oddly enough, playing for the Los Angeles Rams, and now there's a Rams team again. And he's a very promising young guy. Finally gets his chance to start, and he's cycling or something to train, and he is basically killed in an accident when he was training. And he kind of goes up to heaven, and he finds out that basically that it wasn't his time to die. Like something happened, and basically it wasn't his time to go. And so he's, so the angels have to fix this. They have to, put him back on Earth because, they made a mistake. And so he goes back down. I'm highlighting, guys, so bear with me for just a sec. So he goes, so they have to try to, they go to find another body for him to live in. And anyway, interesting things ensue. And it's an old movie, and it's from like the late 70s, I think. Whenever the Los Angeles Rams were still there, but it was I love watching that movie when I was a kid. I haven't watched it in forever, but I liked it. I recommend it. All right. Let's see. Let us see. What are we doing now? What are we doing now, guys? Let's see. What could we do now? I have this one threaded. I should probably just do this one, eh? It's the G. The G. Let's see. All right. Just gotta get started. Get this party started. how I was always having a hard time with this fabric because it was so stiff, and it's definitely changing. It's starting to change a lot, which makes me so happy. It's so much easier to deal with, but it's still kind of a pain to like have to fold up all my fabric is like over here, and so when it's soft, I don't even notice it. I don't even notice that I'm gathering it up and whatnot because it's just so easy to use. But I totally notice it when I'm dealing with super stiff fabric. So I'm just gonna have to get over it though. Just gonna have to get over it. Just a stitching. Just a stitching. I think there's a squirrel outside the window. Now that's like the Smurfs theme or something that's coming out of me right now. Weird. Oh, stretch my legs. My poor husband, trying to stop the dogs from barking. Oh, well, that one didn't look quite right. Let's go back and just put another little stitch over that. We don't want holes in our cross stitch. Blank holes. Bum, 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 bum. I'm just trying to think of things to talk about, and I'm just not very talkative today, which is weird, right? I mean, you guys know me. I'm normally really talkative. And today I'm just kind of I'm singing like old Susanna in my head while I'm stitching. I'm just enjoying the stitching. And this is not how I normally stitch. Although maybe I do it with this particular project because there's so much fabric to the right. But normally I am a one-handed stitcher. I'm a one-handed stitcher. That was a mistake. I stretched my legs out underneath the table, and now I'm like, my legs are permanently straightened. See, I'm not even like, I know I've read things, and I know I've watched things, and but can I think of anything to talk about? Not really. We just talk about let me just talk about stitching. Happy stitching. Happy stitching. I haven't really been updating my blog, and I apologize for that. I don't know how much I'm gonna. Part of me is like, I don't know if I can keep up with that. With everything else, I was excited about it at first, and it was fun and everything, and then I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just a matter of being motivated to throw up pictures of stuff. But sometimes I like to surprise you guys. Like, look how much I got done in a week. Gives me more times. It gives me more times to stitch. Not just one time, but 2 times. 5 times. There's another guy on Twitch that I like to watch. He's an artist, and he actually is a digital artist, and he works for some digital video game company or whatnot. And he actually has been working on like Elder Scrolls or something like that for like 10 years, which I've never played that game. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I've heard of it, but that's cool. But so he comes home at night, and he gets out in front of he has this whole setup where he has like something like this where you can watch him work, and then he's got like multi-camera setup. It's really cool. So you can actually like look at his color palette, or not his color palette, but like his supplies, and look at other pieces of art that he's done before, because he's done commissions for people and stuff. And he'll, but he mostly just, I think it's like a pencil drawing. And, so you can just watch him as he just does pencil drawing, and he's slowish, I would say. I don't want to say that he's slow, because I don't know like technically how fast some artists are compared to others, but he doesn't make a ton of progress at any point whenever you're watching him. But he talks a lot about the process of drawing and art and things like that, and it's really quite interesting. And if you're interested, I want to say like Phoebe isn't his name, F-E-E-B, but I may have that wrong. But he's a pretty cool dude, and his art trends towards more of the fantasy, like dragons and things like that. But like dwarves from like Lord of the Rings. I mean, they aren't like actually Lord of the Rings dwarves, but they look like in that realm. Like he could have worked on Lord of the Rings. That's how good he looks, with his stuff. So, but all right, I think I'm gonna just finish this up here, kiddos, because I have to change color. I'm not going to get too much further before I'm going to have to stop the video anyway. So I think we'll just we'll stop here. Let me show you the picture again. We can all kind of figure out where we are. So that is that. So we're doing like this part, I think is that part right there. So at least I think so. Once I get a little further along and then I get down into this section and get a little bit more color right here, I think it'll be easier to see. So, but that's what we're working on, kiddos. That's what I'll be go downstairs, sit in the comfy chair, and work on some more. So I hope you guys got some stitching done on your end, and I'll see you later this week with the next weekly update, and hopefully I'll have Old World Map 2 done at that point. Or not done, gosh, I'd have to manipulate time and space to get that done, but get the page done. And so, but we'll see. But you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and whenever you watch this, happy stitching, and I will see you later.